details of their own faces and what they want to do on the face. It's a place to do makeup and so on. And women are very sensitive to this thing. But these two pieces will not be necessarily enough. You would need a third part of lighting that comes from the ceiling. So you have left and right side lighting that falls on the individual, and then you have the light that comes from above. In that way, you suppress any possibilities of shadows on the face of the person that is looking into the mirror, getting ready for something. And I chose this picture to show what can be a bad side of mirrors, if you will. When you use a mirror, you got to make sure that you pay attention to what comes on the side, on the other walls in a bathroom, because they may be reflected into the mirror and it would not always be pleasant. For example, here we have these glass boxes. The glass box here would reflect on the mirror, as you can see, and it's not pleasant to look at necessarily. So if you are to pick up an example, then you better choose an example where this side of the mirror of the wall has, for example, a painting, or it's just a plain wall, so that when it reflects in the mirror, it does not disturb, especially when you are in front of the mirror. You want to have better stuff on the side. And this drawing illustrates that quite well. And one good detail here is the fact that you have a sconce here, you have a bracket here that goes to the ceiling, brings the light to the ceiling, and the light goes over to that ceiling, and it would come down this way. So you have this person is completely, the person in front of the mirror here would be completely immersed into light from all sides in the bed, in the bathroom. Quite a good example of lighting in the bathroom. Let's go to the next slide, which is still presenting a bathroom. And in this case, I want you to pay attention to a few details. Now, we have the mirrors, and we do have downlights instead of, in the previous slides, we had two tube lights, fluorescent lights on both sides, and we had two tube lights on both sides of the mirror. In the next slides, instead of having two tubes, we're having two downlights aiming at the same thing. You have lights coming from the left and the right side. And we have another piece of light. Instead of having a light right here in the middle, we have no light, but then there's light on the worktop, on the washing, the vanity here. You have the washing basin. The bowl is embedded into this worktop, the counter here, but the light fuses comes out of the counter. This is again a technique that you may want to use when you're working in a bathroom, is to have a countertop that is translucent, that can get the light passed through, and it would illuminate the top, the countertop, and it creates again a kind of dramatic lighting into the bathroom. We have the same effect is done on this side. It's a small niche in which you could put flowers, for example. After the bathroom, we are going to look into exterior lighting. How does that affect the house. And then we'll finish up with the open plan lightings. This is an example of a house that is in Japan, and a piece of work that I did. We have the light flowing from inside outside, and it extends the exterior. During the daytime, you have the light coming out of outside, which is natural light that flows inside the building, and in the evening you create an opposite effect that creates furthermore the statement of the house in the neighborhood. And if you look at this, the light in this room, which is the living room, comes on top of it rather brightens the ceiling of the second floor, which is cantilevered over here. And on this side, rather, you have a slit right here, and you have light coming out of it that flows from inside towards outside. And what it means, you need to position rightly your light fixtures to get the best effect. If you look carefully at this picture, what you get is the lighting is at the bottom here, and then it goes upward and creates shadows, a kind of beautifully playing shadows on this part of the wall. You bring in some drama to the building by using that kind of lighting. This is a lighting of an open plan home, and nowadays, as opposed to how it used to be conventional and traditionally, living rooms, dining rooms were separated, and that's where we have the concept of living room and dining room. Today, it's no longer the case. We mostly live in open floor, open plan, where you have the living room extending into connected visually, physically, spatially, to the dining room. And when you plan your lighting, you would have to take into consideration this visual extension and make a more integrated type of lighting. You could create interesting effects with lighting, like with this sketch, the sketch here. If you look at this drawing, it is featuring a kind of a ring, which is this part here. And then you have a light, a recessed light, coming from the ceiling, hitting this piece, and creating a pattern into the wall. And this is what we have here. And you have it. You have the projection of the shadow over the wall, while you have at the same time lighting hitting that same wall and creating a bit of a drama in this. So lighting, if I am to summarize it, is a powerful tool of design. It makes spaces come alive. It brings in energy into the house, energy to the people. It polarizes people to where they have to be if it's well designed. So when you are designing, what you have to have in mind is, what do I want to express and what for? Whom for? Once you have these questions laid to yourself, and then you try to answer to each and every one appropriately, you definitely would do a good design. And what I expect from you, as a matter of fact, that was the last slide, is to come up with a light scheme that would feature a house. You are free to choose a floor plan. The text is written, it's in the text, so you could refer to that. You choose a floor plan of a mansion unit, for example, or a single home, a detached house, just one floor. And then you would do lighting for the entrance hall, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, the bedroom. If the house has more than 2 bedrooms or 3, whatever that is, you just choose one room and work on that. There's not much time for that. You just work on one bedroom, and then you would work on a bathroom, and the toilet, of course, and work on exterior lighting. With that, you would have probably 5 to 6 slides in total, and you have to justify the choice of your lighting. Why? You have, first of all, to identify which lighting you are using. Is it a diffuse? Is it a directional light? Is it a cove light? Is it a directional light? That's what I want to see from you, is to show that you understand the principles of lighting. That's the most important thing. And the concept of your lighting, the general concept. I want to do a dramatic lighting, for example, can be a concept. I want to do lighting that is reminiscent of Japanese. I want to do modern light type. I want to do more classical. So it's up to you. And I would like to see how you choose the combination of lighting. So where do you get your images? You can go on the internet, search by just going with the keywords, lighting for living room, lighting for, you would have a lot of images, and then you choose from those images. Or you can go to magazines, or you can refer to light making companies. There are many in Japan. Or you could use your own pictures that you have taken out of pieces of spaces that you have liked among the places you have encountered so far. That's it from me for this class, and I hope to see you next time. I apologize for the miscommunication. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication. I can see this thing is not writing right. Communication did not go through well today. I had a problem with my Zoom issue, and some students this is not correct. My Zoom is all right, so I got it right now. Some students send me some messages. I appreciate having that information from you. Please go to Luna and download this recorded material. I hope this will help you understand better what you have to do.